My video for April the 23rd, 2018 is entitled, My Gospel Records Returned After 2+ Years. When my home was stolen more than 2 years ago, I never expected to get anything that was lost returned. Several people showed up that day when things were being taken, including a man I did not know. All I remembered is that someone took my huge stack of mostly gospel records by the Couriers, J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, Blackwood Brothers, Hess and the Imperials, Happy Goodman Family, and others. What a surprise when I got a call from a man who came and loaded them in his car. He contacted me to tell me he still had them and to come and get them if I wanted them back. Wow. Now I have to get a record player since I no longer have one. I guess I will be able to hear some of those recordings again, bringing back many memories of happier times. I used to love going to the Farm Show Arena in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to hear these amazing singers. Wouldn't it be nice if we could recover everything we've lost that has been stolen from us in the insane world? I think it would. Yeah, when my friend that lives in Costa Rica, Karen, called me recently or contacted me, and she wanted to know my new telephone number, which I provided her, and she called. And not long after she and I talked, I got a call from a man that I don't remember at all. And I called him back, and he said, yeah, he says, I've got a pile of records here in the garage, and it's like 4 or 5 feet tall pile of long playing records. Huge pile. Some of the records I recognize and others I don't recognize. They might have been Dr. Mary's records. I don't know. But in any case, I have a whole lot of records now, and I've got to get a record player so I can play some of these. I never expected, as I said, to see anything that was lost that day. And I quite honestly had forgotten that that anyone had come and picked them up. Although when he reminded me, then I did remember, yeah, somebody came and got the records, and I remember loading them in helping load them in his car. But anyway, I've got them back now, and there's a lot of things that were taken that day. As I've said in other videos, 2 tractor-trailer sized dumpsters were loaded with things that were left in my home that I was unable to get out. And I've lost most of my library, which we did get the books out prior to the day that they stole everything, because there was a possibility of it being taken. Although I had an attorney that didn't show up the day that they pulled their scam on me, and wouldn't allow testimony that went back previous to agreements that had been made that if I allowed them to sell the house on Mare Island, they would not take my home. They would let me keep my home, which of course they are lawyers, and lawyers lie. That's part of their routine. I mean, their whole legal system is basically a scam that has been pulled on humanity for a very long time, and it delves into not just the court system and the so-called legal system. It also goes into the political and religious systems and the business world, where they make everything a corporation, which means it's dead fiction. It has no basis in actual fact and actual human life. It's dead. And these are things that, of course, I've been trying to alert people to, and some people get it and others don't. This man that returned all of those records, we had an amazing conversation. He's very much in tune with the corruption that's been going on, and been not as vociferous in making videos or anything like that, but he has been very much aware and working. And there's probably a whole lot of people working in ways that we don't even imagine to turn everything around and get things back on track to restore humanity's lost treasures. And when I say lost treasures, I don't just mean physical treasures, I mean the spiritual treasures of remembering who we are. This is the most important thing for us to get a grip on. We are not terrible sinners that are lost in sin at all. Yes, we are lost. And we are lost because somebody, something allowed the darkest forces to take control of a planet called Earth. And we have been, many of us have been entrapped in continuous reincarnation, recycling the same old problems again and again and again, and never getting to the place where we can finally have restored within us and around us the kingdom of heaven. Whatever that is, where we remember what our soul has given up in this world, what has been taken from us, and have it returned to us so that our gifts, talents, and abilities can be restored, so that all of the unthinkable treasures, the things that we don't even realize how much we've lost, can be restored, and we can experience peace on earth. What a concept, where we can actually love one another, where we can actually work to build each other up instead of taking away and thinking that we're not going to have enough. And I mean, I can visualize such a world. I have visualized it since I was a little kid. When is that going to happen? When is there going to be a true gospel, a true good news brought to humanity that says you're finally free? You don't have to keep recycling the same old problems over and over and over again. You can create a new world, and each of you can create a new life within the new world. And the new world isn't limited by the boundaries that humanity has had to experience for generation after generation, going back millennia. I mean, as I've said in other videos, why would a loving God allow such a calamity to befall his children or her children, the god, the goddess? Why? And I ask still, why? When will we experience the good news? We don't have to come to the conclusion that there is no God. We just have to get the real creator to start taking responsibility for creation and to uplift his children, us, to a place where we can once again recognize who we are and restore that which we have lost. Not just a pile of long playing records, but all of the intangible gifts that have been lost because we just simply weren't told the truth. We've been sold a bill of goods. We've competed instead of cooperating with each other, and lost a whole lot in that competition. Now, I'm not saying that there is such a thing to me as healthy competition of sports and games and other things like that. But when it comes to life, there shouldn't be competition. There should only be cooperation. I'd like to see the good news and of restoring the kingdom of heaven to earth and to those of us who are willing to embrace newness with joy and to forgive and to love ourselves and to love each other and to uplift the entire scenario that has been so burdensome to all of us as humans for so many generations. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.